name is Chris Lennartz, and I'm responsible for product management at iBASIS. So I am responsible for things like roadmap, go-to-market, product marketing, future development, innovations, and of course P&L. I think there are three main themes. One is scale, the second is innovation, and the third is security. Scale, I mean, we're coming back from a pandemic that heavily impacted us all. So I would like to believe that what is happening, what will be happening this year to us, is the same what happened to us in 2017, 2018, when Roam Like Home was just introduced. We get a lot of calls from operators that are, I wouldn't say panicking, but close to panicking on the scale and the growth that they should do. Should I buy 100 gig interfaces? Should I buy 400 gig interfaces? How much can I scale? So I think coming back from the pandemic will cause at least a factor 2 to 3 more growth than they anticipated so far. So how can you handle that efficiently and with the right quality? So that's number one. The second one is innovation. That is of course tied to scale as well. If you start introducing 5G and IoT, especially 5G creates an enormous amount of traffic, which comes on top of the already increased traffic because we're coming back from the pandemic and the better phones and people are getting more used to Roam Like Home packages. So 5G will introduce another layer of scale. And if people start introducing 5G SA, that means a whole new plethora of use cases and potential customers that will need to have roaming. So that's where the innovation comes from. And what's in innovation also very important is of course IoT. So let's first be sure that all the roaming analytics can be done well, such that we can recognize the regular roaming traffic from the IoT traffic, because devices need to be treated differently than humans obviously. So you need to recognize them first before you can do some policing on them. So it's very important that analytics is well being taken care of. And third, and last but not least, is security. With the advent of IoT and 5G, there will be a lot of security issues. SS7 is not secure, diameter is not secure, 5G should be secure from design, but it isn't. So we need to make sure that security is being dealt with across all channels, not only SS7, diameter and HTTP2, but also GTPC and maybe even GTPU. Because the advent of IoT creates a lot of ingress points for hackers or other malevolent sources to take abuse of the network. So those three things are really important. So I remember when I joined iBASIS in 2012, I thought, well, this is great. So we have a voice over IP company and roaming has come together, so this is going to be fantastic. We're going to introduce LTE. So we've been thinking about VoLTE roaming since 2012, but it never really came off the ground. But only after last year, when both AT&T and Verizon and T-Mobile had clear plans of shutting down their 2G and 3G networks, is when the other side started to panic about, oh God, I think this would never happen, because the revenue that people are making from terminating all those circuit switch voice calls is so important that this will never happen. But it is happening. And it's not going away, it will only get worse or better. This depends on really what you look at it. So it's important that we look at it also from a network efficiency perspective, because you need to clear the spectrum in order to make room for 5G. You need to make room for going to an all-IP network, because having a 2G, a 3G, a 4G and a 5G network basically defies the purpose of having a 4G and a 5G network. So it needs to go away anyway. But VoLTE roaming is a difficult subject, both commercially and technically, so we have to do it. And I think it's good that operators like AT&T and T-Mobile later then, and Verizon are putting a stake in around saying, I'm going to stop it here and now. And even if I'm taking an unpopular measure by saying, okay, my dear users, either buy a new phone or go to WhatsApp because you cannot use it anymore, I think it's really powerful. But we need to think about the user experience as well. There are 800, 900 other MNOs out there that we cannot force to go to VoLTE roaming. So we need to find a solution for them to make it work, because they need to migrate in their own pace. So it's important that we as an industry recognize the challenges that we have on VoLTE roaming, like lawful interception or calling 911 or 112. Make sure that that works. Make sure that there's interaction between the various VoLTE roaming things, and make sure that the end user doesn't suffer from these decisions.